a lot of people.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar.
There we go.
We'll give it a couple of minutes while people are signing on. See everyone coming in. Hello, hello. Welcome if you're just signing on. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Give it one more minute. I keep seeing more names popping in. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. I'd like to welcome everyone. My name is Joy McFarland. I am the Product Marketing Manager here at National Geographic Learning for the US and Canada. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar on motivating your students with video. Just a couple of housekeeping things. This webinar is being recorded and you will be receiving a certificate if you registered for the webinar in the follow-up email that you will be getting in about 4 to 5 business days from us. So thank you for your patience on that. Please put any questions or comments in the chat and we will try to get to them as soon as we can. If we miss one, feel free to put it again and I will get to them as soon as possible. And now I'm going to introduce our fabulous presenters. It is my pleasure to present the co-authors of Standout, our adult ed series here at National Geographic Learning. Rob Jenkins is a popular presenter and author of English as a Second Language topics. He is a retired faculty member from Santa Ana College School of Continuing Education, where he taught ESL for 27 years and served as faculty development coordinator for 20. He was honored with several faculty awards from his college and the Best Practice of Model Program Award in 2013 from the Association of Community and Continuing Ed. Staci Johnson has taught all types of adult ESL, including credit and non-credit college and workplace English, and she holds an MA in linguistics with a teaching ESL certificate. Both Rob and Staci received the 2013 Heinley Outstanding Achievement Award from National Geographic Learning for their textbook series Standout. Standout is currently in its 3rd edition, and you will hear a lot more about it right now in this webinar. Thanks, Rob and Staci. Take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us. We're super excited to be here. I'm watching the chat right now and I'm so excited about all the countries you're all from. And if we had tons more time, I'd stop and talk to you guys. But we are going to talk today about motivating your students with video. Hope that's why you're here. And we use video a lot in Standout, our textbook series. We have life skills video and then National Geographic video. So we are super excited to share some of those videos with you today and show you some ways that you can use video. So what are our goals for today? Today we're going to talk about why video, why use video over images, or why use video just over text. We're going to talk about what good videos are and how to choose good videos. And then we're going to show you some of those videos and go over some video techniques with you. We have a lot to get through, so we are going to jump right in. And then if you guys have any questions about anything, just type it in the chat. Joy will answer. And then at some point, we're going to ask you guys questions. If you can just type in the chat and we will be able to go through those during the presentation. So here you see images, not video because it's not moving, but these are just images. What do you think are the benefits of using images in instruction? Go ahead and type some responses in the chat box. They spark interest. Okay, good. No language barrier, brings the words to life. Oh, these are going so fast. I'm not going to catch them all. Activating prior knowledge, initiating discussion. They're engaging, relatable. I like that. Students can find a possible connection. Maybe they see someone who looks like them, or they see a picture of a place they've been. They're colorful. They tap into our imagination. Great. Okay, so as you look, go back, Rob. As you look at these images, what thoughts come to your mind? These specific images, what are some thoughts? Jobs, okay, great. Everyday life, diverse, culturally relevant, colorful. I see yurts. I have one myself. Oh my goodness, I love it. Real life situation. I wonder what they're talking about. What happens next? Great. a marketplace. Okay, good, good. So you can see that just from these images, you're already, tons of things are coming to mind. Okay, go ahead, Rob. So we want to talk about why video is better than images. And images are great, and if that's all you have, that's what you have to use. But if you can use video, video is so much better. So we're going to talk about why video is better than images. When you're watching video, it uncovers emotions. It tells a story. It encourages thinking. You can learn things. It teaches you things. They help you see other perspectives, and they give you language experience. So in these ways, video is stronger than images. So why is it important to use video? When we think about our ESL students and we think about the kinds of learners they are, in general, when people are learning, they are 65% visual and 30% auditory. And the other 5, I think, was kinesthetic. Is that right, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see just from this that more people are visual learners. I'm a visual learner, I know. My daughter is, you know, these days doing a lot of homework, and she reads me stuff from the book, and she reads it to me and it goes one ear and out the other, and I have no idea what she just said. But if I can go over and I can look at it with her, I can look at the pictures and I actually can see the words, I can understand it a lot better. And that's the same for a lot of our students. Also, when we talk about retention, video really helps retention, because if they just read something, this is just what I was talking about, if they just read something, they retain about 10% of it. But if they watch something, they retain 95% of it. Okay, so when you're choosing video, it's really, really important that you think about the video you choose. You just don't want to go pick, you know, your favorite movie or your favorite TV show and try to show a scene from that. You really want to make sure that you're selective when you're choosing what to show your students. So what should you look for? You should look for objective-driven content. You should look for content and images that don't distract the learner. You want to try to choose something that's relevant to their lives. This is not always going to be the case, because we talked about how a lot of times you can watch video and you can learn something new. You can learn something about another culture, but oftentimes if it's relevant to their lives, they'll be more engaged. You also want to find something that presents a problem, something they have to think about or something they have to solve, or unique information. If it has a storyline, that's a plus, and we're going to be talking about some videos from our books, Standout, coming up, where there is a storyline, because it gets students excited to find out what's going to happen next and excited to come to the next class when you're going to show the next video so they can see what happens next. It's always good if you can choose video that is slightly above their level and natural speech. That way they have to reach and learn something new. Also, it makes them pay attention if it's slightly above their level. And you always want to show them short clips of a video, nothing longer than 3 minutes at a time for in-class viewing. You can send them home to watch something longer, but when you're working with something in class, you only want it to be about 3 minutes. Any questions so far? We good? Okay. All right, so we're gonna show a video. Is it there somewhere?
Yeah, it
Okay.
should be.
We're going to show a video. While you're watching this video, I want you to think about the things that you see on the left-hand side of your screen. So I want you to think about the objective, distractions, if it's relevant, if there's a problem or a unique information, the storyline, the higher level content, and that it's shorter than 3 minutes.
All right, now we're ready.
All right, here we go.
Good morning, Mateo. Good morning. Did you put that sign in the window? The one that says help wanted? Yes, I did. I put it in the window yesterday. Good. Now I have something else for you. Here's a dress, a blouse, and a sweater. Can you put them away for me, please? Yeah, okay, sure. Thank you. I'll be in my office.
Hey, Mateo.
Hey, Hector. What are you doing here?
I saw the sign in the window. It says help wanted. Are you looking for sales clerks?
Yeah, we are, but do you think you have what it takes to be a sales clerk?
Well, you never know unless you try, right?
Excuse me,
Yes, can I help you?
I'm looking for a sweater. Do you have any blue sweaters?
Well, is the sweater for you or for someone else?
It's for me.
Well, what about this sweater right here? I think this would look great on you.
I like it. It might be a bit big. What size is it?
That is a large. Here is a small.
Yes, I think this is the right size. How much is it?
It's $48.
Oh no, I only have $40.
Well, what about this green sweater? It's only $34.
I love it, and I really love the price. I'll take it.
Are you sure? Because this red sweater is even less expensive. It's only $27.
It's perfect, and I'll still have extra money. Thank you so much.
Well, is there anything else we can help you with?
Well, my little brother wants a pair of blue jeans. Can you show me the way to the boys section?
I would be happy to show you the way. Please, follow me.
Who was that? That is my friend Hector. He's a bit of a show-off.
He might make a good sales clerk. Why don't you ask him to come in for an interview?
Okay, sorry, it looks like some of you weren't able to hear it or see it very well. Hopefully you can fix that on your end on the computer. So if you guys can type in the chat, oh, okay, never mind, Rob already put it up here for you. So if you look at the table here, these are the things that I wanted you to look for when you're watching the video. So was it objective driven? So the objective for this lesson was that by the end of class, students will be able to describe clothing. So in this way, there's something for them to do in the video. You can talk about the different types of clothing. You can talk about the different colors. Few distractions. So the videos in Standout, what we love about them is that they're all filmed on a white screen. So the only thing you're seeing are the things that are necessary for the storyline and for the action of the story. So it really gives students a chance to focus exactly on what's going on and not focus on a picture in the background or something. Relevant to students' lives, obviously, everyone shops, even if it's not for clothing, but they shop for clothing. They shop for lots of different things. So this is something that is definitely relevant to their lives and a life skill for them. Was there a problem or unique information? So in this one, the woman has to make a decision. So she has to decide between something. Hector needs a job. So he's looking for a job and suggests that he could maybe be a sales clerk. And then Mr. Patel needs a sales clerk. So there's a kind of a lot of different things going on, a lot of different workplace related things you can talk about. There's a storyline here. The woman's looking for a sweater and Hector tries to show off. This is a storyline that actually continues throughout this series, not necessarily this exact storyline, but the fact that they work together in this shop with these characters. So you get to see them again. Recurring characters are always nice. And then the input +1, natural speech. Students at the low level may not understand everything, but they will understand the story, and having it presented in a video fashion as opposed to a photo fashion really will help them understand, even if they don't understand all of the words. And then obviously it was less than 3 minutes because we're only going to show you things that are less than 3 minutes when we're trying to show you how to do this in class. Does anyone have any questions about what we just saw, what we just did, any of these things about choosing appropriate video? Yes, there are subtitles in the video. If you go longer than 3 minutes, especially if your video is input +1, which is a little bit harder, it's it's going to be challenging for students. And there's no reason that the video has to be a lot longer to get your point across or help them achieve the objective. I do not recommend using captions and subtitles. I'll let Rob answer if he has a different answer, but we are trying to, you know what, maybe I'm gonna change my answer on that. It depends on your objective. if the whole point is to work on understanding and listening, you don't want them focused on reading the subtitles while they're watching the video. At some point, there may be an activity where you want them to actually read the subtitles, but most of the time I would say don't put the subtitles on. You can watch something in class and then let them go home and watch it again and look at the subtitles to kind of get more of the language if you want. You can also give them the script, which is available to you if you use these videos. Our videos, these videos, this one that you just saw was created specifically for Standout. So that's where we found that video.
And they're all online. If you're using Standout, you have access to an online, and your students do too. So your students can watch the videos. And so as you go on, they can watch it over and over. So that question about whether or not to use subtitles, I usually don't use subtitles the first several times that they listen, because we want them to pull out information. They need to learn listening skills. Those skills come as they stretch and try to understand. And they use visual clues to be able to do that. That's all part of this process. After they've kind of understand it and they know the storyline pretty well, if they want to go back, they may watch it 10, 20 times to get more out of it, like Staci was saying. So they may be looking at specific words, and even grammar. You can put them onto some grammar, and certain expressions you can also have them do. So those are all good things.
Yeah, Caddy in the chat box said the idea is to practice listening, not reading. Exactly. That's one of the purposes of videos, to work on their listening skills.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Staci, this is still you.
Oh, okay. This is our little list of video don'ts. And I think I already mentioned some of this. Don't show a video in class only for entertainment. You're not babysitting the kids. You're trying to teach them something. So you really want to choose a video that's going to match your objective, and have activities planned around it before and after, which we're going to talk about. How we're going to talk about how a video fits into a lesson plan, but don't show a video just for entertainment. Don't show a video to fill up time. Don't show a video with no objective in mind. Don't show a video without an associated task. There should be a purpose to you showing the video. And don't show a long video without breaking it up. So we talked about less than 3 minutes. If it's longer than 3 minutes, let's say it's 4, 5, 6 maybe, don't show it all in one stretch. Try to break it up if you can, and maybe have a different task associated with each portion that you're going to show, just to help them understand it better, and not, shut down because they don't understand.
One of the things that when we're talking about using video in an online class, or as you're teaching remotely, 3 minutes is a long time when you can't see necessarily the expressions of the students. You don't know if they're hearing them. I sat there for those 2 minutes and 42 seconds worried that people weren't hearing anything. I worried about your impressions about the video. When you're in the classroom, you see them face to face. You still don't want to do more than 3 minutes, but online, it's even more crucial that you don't do too much. They may say, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to go get a snack and come back. We don't know what they're doing. Also, I wanted to mention one thing about only for entertainment. When I was a grad student years and years ago, I went to a class that was 4 hours on a Saturday. I thought, oh man, I'm going to be able to knock out several observation hours and on Saturday. That would be great. And I went and we watched Roger Rabbit, which is a movie, 2-hour movie with no purpose other than he asked them at the end afterwards. He said, what idioms did you hear? He didn't say anything about idioms before. And the students were really not prepared to really talk about it too much. So I really thought at that time that, man, that's a wasted opportunity. Our students can go and watch TV. We should encourage them to watch TV and movies in English and all of those things. But when they're in the classroom, let's take advantage of this opportunity for them to learn and to practice strategies. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Staci, did you have anything else to add?
I'm just going to answer a question in the box real quick.
Okay.
Someone asked if you should explain unfamiliar vocabulary before the video or wait for students to ask. That's going to be part of your planning with the video. they don't need to understand everything. In fact, you want to teach them the active listening skill of being able to figure things out without understanding every word. So you don't want to teach them every single vocabulary word before the video. But if you think it's relevant to the task and the objective that you're going to be asking them to do after, there's no reason that you wouldn't go over some vocabulary words before. And Rob will probably mention that when he's talking about lesson planning.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about how the lessons fit in, and then we're going to talk about techniques. So at this point, as we move forward, we're going to be talking about three different parts of preparing or doing video. One is to prepare, or before you watch, while you watch, and after you watch. There should be tasks involved in each one. We want our students interactive. If they're sitting back and listening to you talk or just watching passively a video, they are not motivated. They may get interested in the story, and we hope they do, but that's something they can do at home. We want them to incorporate strategies and start thinking critically and working together. So in a lesson plan, in Standout, we have a lesson plan format, which is called the WIPIA model, which is warm up, introduction, presentation, practice.
Evaluation, application.
Evaluation. I all of a sudden I went blank. Yes, evaluation and application. Thanks, Staci. And so these are important steps. And so you don't want to just play. A lot of people say, hey, you know what? I got a video. I'm going to play it. My students are going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. Maybe we'll do a task before and during and after, but you want to think about a lesson plan. How does it all work towards an objective? So you want to warm your students up. You talk about things that they already know. You get them involved, and you work on it. And then you state the objective. By the end of class, you're going to be able to describe clothing, for example, in our last one. So you may be talking about shopping or something like that at the beginning. You may have them do a task they did the day before for warm up. And then you give them the introduction where you tell them what the lesson's about, and you present new information. So in this case, maybe for that video, we might be talking about sizes of clothing. This would be at a very low level. This is what this video is for, a low level. You might notice that all the language is natural speech. It's not slowed down. So there are going to be many words that they don't know. And that is natural. When you learn a second language, many of you know a second language. When you learn a second language, you have to be like detectives. You may not realize it, but you're hearing only some words and you're able to figure out the meaning. And the more you listen that way, the more those ideas will come to you, and you'll be able to understand more and more. And that's what we want our students to do. So you give them new information. You help them to get started thinking in the process. What is, sizes and colors and all of those things. Now, what's nice about Standout is these videos come after 5 lessons. You can use this video within a lesson and it could be a practice for a lesson. So you already have the warm up in the introduction there. And then you use this as another presentation and another practice. So you have another practice from the video. You could use this as its own standalone lesson. And so if you do that, you're going to need a little bit more preparation, and that's good. So you do the presentation. The presentation would always involve a task. So you don't just stand and lecture. Present a problem and work with the class to resolve it. You could do class polls. In this case, I might just start asking my students, hey, you know what? I bought a shirt yesterday at the store, and it was very expensive, and I got it home. I took it out of the bag and I put it on, and it was too small. I couldn't believe it. I bought a shirt that was too small. What do I do? And wait for the students, elicit information from them, pull out information, and find out what they know, and help them and give them new information. And collectively, your students will be able to help one another, and they'll be able to talk through it. So you elicit new vocabulary, you ask questions, get opinions, and get the students thinking about the topic. This is going to prepare them so when it's time, it's going to be a support mechanism. The video will be an opportunity for them to practice, and that's the next step. but we want to get them ready. So we do this presentation. Sometimes you use the video as a presentation, but most of the time we want to give a presentation to prepare them for the video. And so then you start your practice. Make it interactive if you can. It's a little harder online than it is in person, but you certainly can do it. And we're going to show you some examples of that in just a minute. But you want to develop that vocabulary, grammar, and content. I often think of practice as almost an excuse to use the language, an excuse to use vocabulary. For example, I might do some critical thinking where I ask my students to classify certain information, or I might ask them to listen for specific things in the video, or I might ask them to talk through different ideas. So we want critical thinking, task-based skills, and we want to help them to practice those type of skills. We want them to maybe reach a conclusion about what they see on the video. And so we ask them a question, say, well, hey, what do you think is going to happen? What happened? And what are your conclusions? Is that a good thing, a bad thing? What do you think? We want cooperative learning. Again, online it's more difficult, but you can do it. You can put them into groups. You can have them talking together, come up with conclusions, and then you bring that back to the class. So those are things you can do. And then after, you want to check for understanding. You want to evaluate them to make sure that they really get it. You may play the video 2 or 3 times. You don't have to only play it once. You may stop it in the middle if you see kind of questioning faces, or if you sense that they're not quite getting it. You may want to stop. And we're going to show you how to do that in just a moment. We're almost there. And application. So at the end, you want them to apply what they've learned. So it says personalized tasks can help students to become more independent. We may ask them to do something outside of class with this remote instruction. It could be that we ask them to check prices online for something, or sizes, or find different kind of clothing online. We may have them do that. In class, we may have them talk about what they're wearing at the moment. I'm wearing I don't know what color shirt this is, a turquoise shirt. It's a large turquoise shirt, and I'm wearing blue jeans, or whatever it is. And we can have them, and they can write it, they can speak. There's all sorts of things they can do, but it's related to the video. It's what happened. We can have them create a dialogue of their own and practice in the class. Those are all application activities. So I guess the thing that we're trying to show here is that we want you to think about video not as some separate thing you do, but integrated, interwoven into the class, so that our students will have the opportunity to use the language. And it's not just viewing for viewing's sake. It's viewing to learn and to grow your strategies in the class. So that's really what we're striving to do. So we're going to talk about 8 different things that you can do. And a lot of times these different activities can be done over the same video. So you're doing a video, and you might start with predicting. You might start with a freeze frame where the students predict what's going to happen next, or describe what's there. And then you may have them write about it, or tell a story about it. You may do comprehension checks at the end, or during. So there's lots of different things that you can do. The most important thing is that you do them. That the students don't just watch a video and then later you say, what can we do with this? No, they need to be doing something all the time. That's the purpose of you as a teacher and your students in a classroom, as opposed to being at home. When they're at home, there's all sorts of things they can do, but you have a teacher who can guide our students. You are a teacher who can guide your students to be successful and to practice these strategies. And as you do them, it'll become more interesting. Students will be more motivated, more excited to learn, and look forward to watching video in the classroom. So you want to do that. It's so important. I remember years ago when I was a kid, that was a long time ago, but when I was a kid in school and they would show a video and they turn off the lights, that was my time to sleep. And we don't want that. Our students need to be actively engaged in learning. So if you think about that, make sure that you do it. So we're going to talk about some of these things. freeze frame. I'll just explain them just quickly here. Freeze frame is when you stop the video someplace and you ask questions. You can do the same thing with quotes about the video. That's if you're doing a presentation. But you can ask the students and you motivate thinking and also build vocabulary from what they see. What can they tell you? You can have them doing different tasks that develop the grammar, the vocabulary, the content. All of those things, again, as they're viewing, you can ask them to write down all the verbs that they hear. Or you can ask them to look for different articles of clothing and have them write those things down. You can have them classify information that they hear. And we're going to do one of those in a minute. You can always have them predict what's going to come, especially if there's a storyline. It's really great to have them predict what's going to happen and then they do it. That doesn't mean you do it at the beginning. You could do it at the beginning, but you could do it throughout. You could stop halfway through the video and say, okay, what happens next? And have a discussion, put them in groups, ask them to come up with their own scenarios, and then watch the video. You can do silent viewing. Silent viewing is great because sometimes students don't realize that they have the opportunity to, one of the skills is being able to take visual cues. And if you can take visual cues, you can get a lot of the information. And some of the videos in Standout especially are really good because they have some action in them. The ones that have action in them, they can basically tell the story. We're going to do one of those in a minute too, so that you can see what I'm talking about. But you listen without viewing is another way to do it. So that becomes just a regular audio practice. But that is another opportunity for students to be interacting and talking about what they think has happened. You ask them comprehension questions and that type of thing. There's something called back-to-back. I've seen this called other things, but back-to-back is one of my favorite activities. You can't really do this in online, but I thought I would mention it. That's where one student is looking at the video, you play it silently. The other person is got his back to the video, and student A speaks to student B. Student A is watching and tells the story without sound to student B. What's happening next? Then student B either tells student A the story back or goes to another group and tells that story to another pair. So that's a really great activity to do. Again, any way we can get them talking about the video, opening up, writing about the video, analyzing the video, discussing what's happening is a good plus for what we're doing. Summary strips. I love summary strips. You probably understand what that means. It's just you take a bunch of strips, you write the story in order, and then you cut those strips out, you pass them around. Now, how do you do that online? Well, you just show all of the story out of order. So you have a statement, like 5 to 15 statements you have of the story, and the students have to figure out what comes first, what's next, and what's next. They can do that as they're watching. That's a great way while you watch activity. And of course, comprehension checks. You might, that goes well with prediction. You can ask them to predict something and then say, okay, watch for this and see if you're right. You can ask them comprehension questions in the practice as while you watch, or as an evaluation after you watch. So those are all great things to do. I'm going to start getting into some examples now, but do you have any questions at this point? Staci, do you have any comments?
No.
You've been online.
I answered one, yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so moving forward, here's a freeze frame. So I'm going to ask you really quickly, and if you could respond, that would be great. Freeze frame is when you just choose an image in the video, you stop it, and you ask the students to describe what they see. That's one thing you can do. There's other things. You can use it for prediction, for example. But can you tell by this video what's going on? Anybody like to share your thoughts about what's happening? Paying bills, coupons, good. Right. What else? Cutting coupons, yeah, very good. Organizing ideas, absolutely. Yeah, so they're cutting coupons. What do you think they want to buy? Anybody have a prediction of what they might be buying? Picking gifts, maybe. Getting ready to shop, okay? Asking him why he spent so much money on something, good. Food, yum. Scrapbooking, groceries, kitchen appliances. All right, those are all good. Where are they? Where are they? Somebody said kitchen appliances, so that's kind of a clue, but where are they? What room of the house are they in? They're in the kitchen. And where are they sitting? Or where is he sitting? All right, kitchen table. And what other items do you see? What vocabulary can we build from this? Breakfast table, good. Dining room table or dining table, dining area. What is some other vocabulary you see? A nook, oh, good word. Excellent. Fridge, food ads, sink. Okay, so you get the idea. Here, you might get, this is like a brainstorm. You might get a big list of things that you're going to have, and you might just throw all of that on the board everywhere. Another thing you can do now that you have this list is you say, hey, okay, let's classify these. Let's put these into categories. So what are some categories? Furniture, right? People, resources, things to cook with. There's only one of those, I think, microwave. But there's different things that you can see. There's a coffee maker. So there's different ways to classify. You could talk about colors. There's all sorts of things that you could talk about. This happens to be in book 3, unit 2. So probably not, you probably wouldn't be talking about colors, but you could start talking about different things. You could have them tell their scenario about what they think is happening. You could talk about prepositions. Absolutely. That's another great one. And you could classify things in prepositions. So you say, what are things that are next to something else? And you make a list. The refrigerator is next to the cabinets. For example, the chairs are next to the kitchen cabinet. There's a pillow on, there are pillows on the chair, for example. So these are things, again, we just need an excuse to get our students talking and getting them involved. So this is a great thing. Okay, so somebody asked to see the preparing, says prepare for the video before watching items 4. I was taking notes. I'm sorry. Well, this is all this is all recorded, so you can get back to this. We can't really go back at this point, but you can watch this later and see what there is to see. Okay, so I can take this same video and I have here laptop and desktop. And so now I'm going to tell the students in this video, there is discussion about laptops and desktops, desktop computers. So what I'd like you to do is be able to tell me information about each. So if you will listen, and I may give them a piece of paper online, I may send it to them, I may make a PDF fillable, all of those things. So these are the type of things I might do. So we're going to play a little bit so you get the idea. We won't play the whole thing, but you'll get an idea of what's coming.
Hi, honey. What are you doing?
I was looking at some computer ads.
Computer ads? Why?
I wanted to buy one for Hector. He needs it for school.
Is that really necessary?
Things are different now, dear. Having a computer is like having a pen and paper.
Well, you're probably right, but won't it be too expensive? Are you sure we can afford to buy a computer?
Sure, we can afford it. We have some savings, and there's some really good deals right now.
Really?
Here, take a look. This is a laptop. It's light and easy to carry.
Well, laptops really are thin and light.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Compare the laptop to a desktop computer.
The desktop computer is a lot bigger and heavier than the laptop.
Yes, but it's cheaper.
Let's see. The laptop is smaller than the desktop, but it's also more expensive than the desktop.
Right.
Which one has the most memory?
Okay, so you get the idea. We're talking about, and this is the task-based activity, which is one of the techniques that we talked about. Make sure you're doing a task-based activity during the video. And I realized I was going to type into the chat box, and as I did, it stopped my video. So I apologize for that. But you can see this is comparison shopping. They're going to get information. They're going to write it down, and they're going to they'll be able to discuss. What I like about this is that you can have your students do this and then put them into groups and have them compare answers so that so they help each other to build their lists. There's several differences that they're going to talk about: the speed and the price, of course. And in the book, there is a lesson specifically about comparison shopping using the superlatives and comparatives. So you have an opportunity to be able to use that language here in support. So this would be in support of that particular lesson, or you can do it at the end of the unit. Again, that's another suggestion. All right. So I apologize for those. I apologize for those that can't hear it very well. You should have no problem when you're watching this yourselves. Again, this is available on the Standout website, which is through National Geographic Learning. As we look here, this is another place. What do you think? So Hector, this is Hector, and he's gone to the doctor. What do you think is going to happen next? So he's there. What do you think the diagnosis is of Hector? Does he look nervous? So maybe we get some comments about this. This is prediction. So what do you think is coming up? COVID-19, excellent. Maybe that's the case. He's a little worried about that. Ear infection. You're right, it's not Hector, it is, who knows his name? Somebody know his name?
Removal.
What? I've gone blank. What's
Oh, I'm
his
just
name?
laughing. No.
All right, so Hector's father, you're right, sorry. I said Hector, and it's Victor. So this is Victor. So, all right, so wax removal, could be. I need that all the time. The problem with prediction is that some people think you can only use this at the higher levels. You can do prediction at the lower levels. Here's an example. You give them some ideas and you have them choose from those ideas. So what will the doctor say? He needs more sleep. This is his diagnosis, what he needs to do to improve. He needs to eat more salt. He needs more water. He needs to stop working. He needs medicine. He needs to exercise. So you can kind of guess and get an idea of what's going on. And at the low levels, they don't necessarily have the language to be able to do it. They can watch this and then they're ready to watch the video itself. So let's just watch just a little bit of it so we get an idea. I'm not gonna watch much. So I can stop it anywhere. So here I stop it here and I'm asking, here's the title. I've got lots of stress. So now you kind of have an idea. What are some of the symptoms of having a lot of stress? What do you think he's experiencing? Anybody have an idea? So I can throw out some more prediction questions. What are some of the symptoms of being stressed out? I know none of you. Fatigue, restlessness, headaches, lack of sleep, good. Vertigo, depression, excellent. So yeah, so we're going to find out what he's experiencing. So I would stop it here just for the title. I love to stop with the title and have my students help me to figure out what's happening next.
Good morning, Victor. How are you?
Well, Dr. Badawi, I'm not sure. That's why I'm here.
I'm sure everything will be fine. Let's start by checking your vital signs.
Okay.
What could our objective be in this lesson? what might we be shooting for? So remember, you want to put this within a lesson, not just the activities, but everything needs to be put into a series of activities that leads through. Right now we're at while you're watching. So we've done predicting and we can do comprehension. But what do you think the objective might be? Anybody have an idea that they'd like to share with us? Healthy living, good. By the end of the class, students will have an idea about healthy living, good. Other ideas? Doctor's appointments, diagnose Victor per symptoms, good. So we could talk about symptoms, we could talk about illnesses, doctor's exams, good. So you want to keep that in mind. This is not just something interesting. It is something that has a purpose. By the end of class, students will be able to, and we say healthy living, but really we want to say by the end of class, students will be able to identify healthy practices. Or by the end of class, students will be able to identify symptoms. So that's the idea that we're asking questions. Good. Those are the kind of things we would do.
Heart rate is normal. Can you open your mouth and go ah?
Ah.
Good. Now let me look inside your ear.
What do you see?
Everything looks fine. All your vital signs are normal. Tell me, what brings you in today?
Well, I'm very tired all the time. I don't have any energy.
Do you get enough sleep?
I get about 5 hours of sleep every night.
5 hours. That's not very much.
I know.
What time do you go to bed?
I usually go to bed about 11 o'clock. But I can't sleep because I think too much.
What kinds of things do you think about?
Here's another task we could have our students do during it. Remember, we did the prediction. We're listening to see if they were right about the outcome, but we could have them also writing down symptoms. We could have them talking about feelings and what Victor is feeling, or the doctor's language, or if, like you said, if we're talking about questions, for example, we could do that. So these are some of the things that we can do. Here's another one. One of the ways that we can watch this is to write a summary about it. Again, silent viewing is great here. So I'm going to play a little silent video. See if I can do it this way. So we're silent, and watch. I'm going to move it up just a little bit so that we don't take up too much time here. So imagine that the students are telling the story right now. There's no sound, so if you can't hear, that's right, because we're playing silent viewing. The students are asked to write a story, perhaps. They're asked to talk to one another and guess what they're saying to one another. So when they came in, one was doing exercises showing the other. And so here you go. So they're practicing, and then the boss comes in. Now, what's he saying? Is he upset? How's he feeling? Oh, he reached down to his feet. So you get an idea, and you can kind of guess at the storyline and tell the story. For students, this is great to be able to write down the story step by step. One of the ways to do this is to set them up with different pictures. This is another way to do it. You can take screenshots of different parts of the story and have them do this. Notice in 4, they're all happy. They must have all exercised. And what's the, oh, it should say 4 and 5, sorry. So in 4, you see to the left, you'll see that there looks like they're opening up a can of soda, and Hector, that's Hector, he's opening up a candy bar. And in what should be 5, what do they have now? They have orange juice. So what do you think the topic of this, what do you think the main idea of this video is? What's the main idea? Anybody like to say what the main idea is? It's hard to talk about main ideas. Students have trouble with that. So if we were going to say what might be the title of the story, what's happening? What do you think, Stacy? What's the main idea?
They're coming up. They got them.
Oh, we got it. Okay. Eating better, healthy habits, good, fitness, exercise. Yeah, so it's not only about exercise, it's the orange juice too, right? So that's the kind of idea. And we have a lot of this in the book for you. The video, there's video pages for everything in the book. Here's an example of where they're preparing to do to lead a clothing drive. And that you can watch this video. There's before, while, and checking for understanding. There's a lesson plan that goes on with this. Here's the beginning of it over here. This is after 5 lessons, which is about locating community resources, using telephone, giving suggestions, identifying ways to volunteer in the community. So this is in support of those lessons, all right? And you'll have while you watch, something task-based that students can do. They're listening for something, they're looking for something, they're writing something, some task that they would have to do. Here's an example of video strips. This is out of order to a video that's in book 1, unit 1. And Hector describes his father. Hector shows Naomi family pictures. What's the order? So you don't have to have the strips. You just put the number. Number 1 is here, and number 2 is here, number 3, number 4, number 5, and so on. And that might take watching the video 2 or 3 times to be able to do, but they're always doing something. And that's what's important about video. What's nice in Standout is we also have, for every book, we have 2 National Geographic videos, which are great to watch. We're not going to watch it now, but we're talking about the GER, the same one that we saw before. Here's an activity while they watch that I put here. How old is Anuka, and do they live in the city or the country, and what is the story about? So you go over the questions first, not as comprehension, but as while you watch. So the students are prepared to look into this. This is from the lowest book. So we learn about the family. We're not going to take the time to
Show
watch
a little
it.
bit of it. Can you show a little bit?
Yeah, I'll just show a little. But notice it's only 1 minute and 46 seconds long.
This is Ajku's home. It's a gur in Ulaanbaatar. Ajku's daughter, Anuka, is 6 years old. Ajku's wife's name is Norvu. Norvu's family isn't from the city. These are her parents. Their gur is in the country. This is Jaya, Norvu's father. He's a farmer.
So what do you think the objective in this lesson is? What would you say it is? Anybody like to respond? Remember, this is the lowest level, family. Very good.
Yep.
Talk about family, introduce a person. Very good, excellent. That's exactly right. So this is a good support for what they're doing, even at the lowest levels. The idea here, and what we're trying to get across with everything we're talking about, is that you want to use video purposefully. You don't want to just use it. You want to use it with a purpose and a place. And in Standout, we give you lots of opportunities to do that. We're happy to help you any way you can. If you'd like to talk to us, Staci, do you have anything to add?
No?
Okay. So if there's any questions later, we can talk to you. We love to teach, and we want to take advantage of these resources and not just use them because they're there. It's really important that we use them in appropriate places where we can really build our students' skills. We appreciate you listening and staying for this presentation, and we hope that you take some of these ideas to heart. Look for Standout, find your rep, and through National Geographic, and we hope to see you soon once again in another webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys, for your time. And yes, you will all be receiving a follow-up email within 4 to 5 business days with information, a link to the recording, and a certificate. Thank you, Rob and Staci, for your time, and thank you everyone for attending. Thanks so much.
Thank you.